Welcome to the Greenway with Mac, a channel dedicated to active transportation.
Today we are in beautiful Boulder, Colorado, about 30 miles northwest of Denver. The trail is basically a greenway and is called the Boulder Creek Path, which is a 5.5-mile multi-use path that runs east-west across the city.
In this video, you'll see about 2.5 miles of the western portion of the path, starting at Scott Carpenter Park and ending at Eben G. Fine Park.
This trail is fully separated from vehicle traffic, so it's great for all ages.
Scott Carpenter Park is pretty sweet. They have an outdoor pool, a skate park, and a nice playground. They even had these amazing bike parking spots for bikes with trailers.
The park is named for a naval test pilot and NASA astronaut who was born in Boulder in 1925. Scott Carpenter was the second man to orbit the Earth after John Glenn, and the fourth American in space.
My chariot for today is an electric B-Cycle, which is Boulder's non-profit bike share system. I downloaded the app and had a bike within 5 minutes. The bikes are pretty solid and easy to ride. There are 50 stations across the city, including several that we will pass on today's route.
For people visiting the city, this is a fantastic option, especially if you are doing a lot of short trips.
One of the key reasons that makes Boulder such a great biking city is that it has over 160 miles of dedicated bikeways and 79 undercrossings, like this one here. These undercrossings remove vehicle conflicts and really take the stress out of the ride. When you include unprotected bike lanes, there are over 300 miles of lanes across Boulder. This route loosely follows the first bike route in the city. In 1968, a physics professor named Al Bartlett and his student assistant designed and submitted the original bikeway plan to the Boulder Planning Commission. He even recruited his daughter's Girl Scout troop to help identify the safe routes near schools. Bartlett wanted kids to be able to get around town to places like school and the Boulder Reservoir safely. He attended bicycle safety workshops and passed out leaflets that encouraged people to call the city in support of bike routes. His plan worked, and his army of kids bombarded the city with calls, to the point that the city manager said he had received the message. Within a couple years, the city was allocating money to build its first bike lanes. In fact, that initial route was from Scott Carpenter Park, back where we started the ride, to the Boulder Public Library, just up ahead. I think there's a lesson in recruiting the youth in a city to demand the freedom to bike to school safely. Mr. Bartlett passed away in 2013, but his legacy lives on with this wonderful network of trails. Once we cross the Folsom Underpass, we will be entering through the Boulder campus. Most of it will be on our left, but some athletic fields and housing are on our right. I recorded this ride in July, so the campus was pretty quiet. But I've heard that the trail can be quite busy when the 30,000 students and faculty return in the fall.
This path is so important to the region that they keep it plowed when it snows.
When I was researching Boulder and its trails, I came across an entertaining local expert named Ryan Van Duzer. If you're looking to dive deeper into the Boulder cycling culture, then his channel is a good place to explore. One thing I loved is when he joined the trail network, he called it the Matrix. He also referred to the Boulder Creek Path as the main artery of the system, reinforcing this trail's importance in the overall network. Take a look at this map of Boulder on Google Maps. When you select the biking layer, these green lines show you where there is at least a bike lane. This is a pretty great network that connects most of the city. Boulder is consistently ranked as one of the top biking cities in the United States. In 2022, it was ranked number 7 in the United States, and according to the League of American Cyclists, Boulder is one of only 5 platinum-level American cities. The other 4 are Davis, California, Portland, Oregon, Madison, Wisconsin, and another Colorado city 45 miles to the north, Fort Collins. How does your city rank? Are they currently doing anything to improve their score? I've included a link to the People for Bike City Ratings tool in the description. In addition to all of these bike accolades, Boulder has recently won awards for being one of the happiest cities, one of the brainiest, a top 10 for the next decade, and one of the best cities for raising an outdoor kid. I'm assuming that last award refers to the lifestyle and activities, and not Mowgli from the Jungle Book.
This was a Saturday morning, so the Boulder Farmers Market was taking place over on our right. They also have an evening market in this location on Wednesdays between May and October.
Across the creek is the Boulder Public Library, which marks the original endpoint of the first bike route. These paths before and after the undercrossings lead to the main road, where most likely you can find a bike lane and move north or south in the city.
Just ahead on our left is the Everett Pearson Kids Fishing Pond. It was built in 1949 and each year is stocked with about 3,000 fish between the Memorial Day and Labor Day weekends. Kids 12 and under can catch up to 3 fish per day from the pond.
In some parts of the path, there is a clear separation for bikes and people on foot. Multi-use paths are great, but it's safer and generally more peaceful when the different modes can be split up. When possible, this should be the standard when building off-street paths.
Our destination is Eben G. Fine Park, which is named for a man nicknamed Mr. Boulder. Mr. Fine was a pharmacist and amateur photographer. In 1922, he was at a convention in Dallas, and he was asked to speak at a closing banquet. Instead of speaking about his profession, he used the time to show slides of Boulder that highlighted its beauty. A Burlington Railroad executive commented that Fine's presentation would do more to encourage travel to Colorado than any advertiser. Fine was recruited by the railroad and for 14 years traveled to give talks and show images promoting his home city and state. The park was dedicated to him in 1959. The park has picnic areas, a playground, and restrooms.
In the summer, a popular activity is tubing down Boulder Creek. Start here at Fine Park and float until 55th Street.
The trail continues 3/4 of a mile further, where it connects with the Boulder Canyon Hiking Trail. In addition, you can cross under the road to access other areas to the north, such as the People's Crossing, which is a trailhead for several trails.
Pearl Street also connects with People's Crossing, so another option is to take this street back, which is filled with shops, restaurants, and all the fun stuff you find in a good downtown. The only downside is that there are no bike lanes, so it is much more walkable than bikeable. Let me know what you think about this trail. Do you know of other great trails in the area? Post them in the comments. And if you like what I'm doing, please subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on the next great bike route. Thanks for coming along. I'll see you on the next Greenway.